Dear Heavenly Precious Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come here today to serve the people of this county. God, I just pray that all decisions we make benefit all, if not most, of every citizen of this county. In your holy and precious name we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. We'll call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission to order. Today is Wednesday, April 21st of the year 2021. And Commissioner, if you'd like to get us started on the action items there.
On review of the minutes for April 7th and special meeting for March 9th, special meeting for April 14th. I motion to approve those minutes.
That motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry.
Yeah, you're up.
Upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, move to approve accordingly.
Okay, the motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the state and fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve accordingly unless otherwise noted.
The motion is on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon submission of budget revisions received from the elected officials and department heads, the Commission will take appropriate action as it's deemed necessary.
The motion is on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the invoices as submitted by various departmental offices, the Commission will take appropriate action as deemed necessary.
That motion is on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. Anyone for E911? I don't have any. That being said, discussion concerning Swiftwater Rescue. I requested this be put on here. The commission met with the Fire Department Association last week. They wanted to kind of give us some information and education on a few things, and I just wanted to bring it back to us so we could discuss it in our meeting here.
Yeah.
Of what we think we need to do on that.
I think we should cover 80% of the cost for the training and the equipment, less the budget.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. And I find it a valuable asset. Just this week we had a water recovery of the lady that died. And I've had a personal friend die quite a few years ago during a recovery attempt. And I think it's valuable for our county to have these guys and girls trained.
And we did find out that the training people will have a boat for them to train on. So, I mean, we can always revisit that later if needed.
Okay.
So is there a motion on that?
I'll make that motion that we approve the 80%.
Okay. Motion's on the floor for 80%, covering the cost for, and they did provide me, by the way, Chief Coleman had a family incident. He couldn't give me the names, but he does have 16 men ready to go.
Where do we want to take the funding from? The CARES Act or from Coal Settlement?
I take it from E911.
Good point. Yes, let's take it.
We can.
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll take it
that's
from
exactly what it's been used
E911
for.
for,
Okay.
county safety, so.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that motion's on the floor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. You will relay that on the bank, so he'll know what's going on there. And then also, at the request of the commission, discussion concerning Senate resolution between the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Nicholas County Airport Authority. So, Commissioner, if you'd like to address that there.
Yeah, this is received a few days ago. The Senate has a concurrent, the West Virginia Senate concurrent resolution, and it's 15 by Senators Hamilton and Lindsey that request the United States Army of Engineers to to extend a certain lease between the United States Corps of Engineers and the County Commission of Nicholas County, West Virginia on behalf of the Nicholas County Airport Authority. And it says, whereas the core mission of the United States Army Corps of Engineers is dedicated to strengthening our nation's economy by building and maintaining infrastructure, researching and developing technology, promoting stability and improving quality of life. Whereas West Virginia has recently made efforts to revitalize and develop the new and existing tourism and commerce industry in the state, including educational, recreational, economic, and military opportunities and development. Whereas extending certain leases between the United States Corps of Engineers and the Nicholas County Airport Authority will permit the Nicholas County Airport Authority to manage and maintain facilities located in the Summersville Airport, which facilitate the development of educational, recreational, economic, and military-related opportunities in West Virginia, including but not limited to the tourism of the Summersville Lake Newark Gorge National Park, the preserve, and the resounding and surrounding area. Development of new flight instruction programs, relocation of existing flight instruction programs, development and relocation of new and existing medical air transport companies, development of charter and air taxi services, sales, service, repair, and storage of aircraft, facilitation of facilities related to the Summit Bechtel Reserve National Boy Scout Camp and Young Life Summer Camps. Therefore be it resolved by the Legislature of the West Virginia that the United States Army Corps of Engineers to extend and that certain leases between the United States Corps of Engineers and the County Commission of West Virginia on behalf of the Nicholas County Airport, and be it further resolved that the clerk of the Senate is hereby directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the United States Corps of Engineers. Okay.
So we greatly appreciate our support from our friends in the Senate, Senators Lindsey and of course our own Senator Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the entire, I think that was a unanimous vote by the Senate.
Yes.
And so all of our 34 friends in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
We have a valuable opportunity here.
Absolutely.
Okay. And it's took a lot of work to get to where we're at with this. A lot of hours have been put into this. And I do appreciate the support of all the people involved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One other thing is discussion concerning grant writer. Where we are on that. The legal counsel, if you'd like to address that.
I haven't, I think the commissioners, I think you all are still reviewing the proposed job description that I wrote. I think we had a lead that that the commission had looked into and investigated, and I think the commission just needs to consider that information and make a decision as to if that group would be an appropriate hire. If not, then I will continue to search out potential grant writers or companies that do this work. I know that I know we are better off securing somebody sooner than later. It seems that grant writers in West Virginia are just drying up for a number of reasons, but the biggest being with the Rescue Act funds that are going to come into West Virginia over the next 22 months are going to require somebody that knows how to see the big picture with that sort of stuff. So I think, I mean, without getting into a personnel matter, I think there might be an in-house option. I think there might be an outside option from a private company, and I think the commissioners just need to discuss that. I would suggest that you all discuss that. Any questions that I can answer, you can contact me about that. And then when it comes time to making a decision, I could certainly facilitate the whatever needs to happen to bring that person on board. So that's the update I have, and if you all have any questions, just let me know.
So you've given us the company, the list?
Well, I what I passed on was a name. I know that, or a company. I know that there was another group that had been contacted. I'm not sure by whether it was the commission or the office. And that name was kind of floating out there, or that company. But that's all I have right now. I mean, everyone else I've contacted just said, we just committed to a bigger project, or
we're entering into a long-term contract for this and that. So, and this was really in the Kanawha Valley. So it might be something where if we go outside of county employees, we might have to go to Morgantown, or we might have to expand our search there. And I'll if you all direct me to do that, I can start on that right away. And then the in-house option, I think that's just something the commissioners need to consider. And again, because it's a personnel matter, I'll just call that the in-house option.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
And then we did have a request last meeting, and honestly, we were so busy that I kept forgetting to bring it up. It's from the Summersville Tailgate Market, which is the market across from Dairy Queen. They looking for some assistance on their insurance. The Summersville Rotary has already given them part. According to them, that they're the only tailgate market that does the senior voucher program. And so, they kind of have a little bit of a offset in cost on that from the state, but not 100% of what they would have if they sold it themselves. And of their $653 a year insurance, they're asking for $300. And I told them that I would bring it up, but that I was going to recommend if we do anything, it's for 1 year. We can readdress it next year, but it's only guaranteed for 1 year.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
The motion's on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Just take it out of general county.
Yeah.
Who do I get in contact with?
Their address is on this right here. I'll give you his phone number. So the motion's on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. We'll take a quick vote. Get that pulled up for you.
I say this, if they do it.
We've got here now a executive session at the request of County Commission Attorney Clint Bischoff concerning a personnel matter. No, they won't switch. That's what we have to do. So if you want to make that motion real quick.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session due to code, whatever the code is, 69A3 and 4.
Yeah, the motion. Okay, we're here now concerning the Della Dorsey estate. We have, I'm sorry, if you'll do that, please.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session and state that there's no action taken.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. That being said, that motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. And again, as Commissioner Atkins did note, there was no action taken during executive session. That being said, we are here now at the Della Dorsey estate with the county clerk, Robert Painter, rejecting the will. So if the clerk's staff would like to take the floor first on this.
Okay, so the will was presented to us. Upon reviewing the will, we'll notice that Article 3 was missing and Article 5. The documents were numbered, so it doesn't look like there's any pages missing. However, it appears that there is two pages missing. It doesn't say who the real estate's going to, so we just don't feel that it is complete and accurate. So we rejected it. And the next step was to come before the county commission and have them say whether we will take it or if it's to be done as a administrator instead of an executor.
Mr. Cole, is based on my advice that the county clerk rejected it. It's obviously not a complete last will and testament of the decedent, and if it's not a complete will, it's not valid. That's not a valid will, I think. So that's why I advised the clerk to reject it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Your Honor, we would ask, probably to pull this down. Talk. No, I don't think, I think you're breaking any rules. We understand the issue with the will, and we tried to figure out exactly what happened. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like it was a copying issue where some of the pages ran through as legal size or letter size instead of legal size. And what we would propose is to make a motion to allow us to reform the will to correct the bad pages and insert what should be the appropriate pages. And I can go into the argument about that or not at this point. But, I mean, I have some legal authority, I think, that authorizes this based on general principles of drafting of wills. And we think that it would allow, one of the most important things throughout the cases that I've read is that every effort should be made to give the deceased the intent of what they wanted to do with their property. And by rejecting this will, it will result in the exact opposite of that, because if it has to go as if they died without a will, then the individuals who are going to inherit are going to be substantially different and affected by the amounts that they inherit as well, as opposed if we follow the individual's intention. And secondly, we think that it is appropriate to do this not only to honor the intent of what the deceased wanted, but case law clearly, when you look at it, favors finding a way to basically have a will as opposed to not have a will. So if there's a will, even though it has a defect, it should be attempted to be corrected unless there's some overriding legal principle or public policy reason. And I'm unaware of none in this particular case. We can demonstrate to the court, if it wants, that we have what the actual will should be. And I brought copies of that today. And it's the same number of pages. The only difference, if we substitute those, is that they actually have all the text. None of the text has been changed. We can demonstrate the last draft through emails that were sent to not only Ms. Perkins here, and then they would give them to Ms. Dorsey at the time. And she would then review them. She made several changes throughout the course. This will process probably took 6 months. And at the end of the day, we have the final draft that was sent to her. She made one small change, which was an addition of a name of an individual to inherit a small amount of money. And we made that change, and then we signed it 2-3 weeks after that. And we can demonstrate, I think, that through email that this is the correct and only will. There's not another will out there. Ms. Perkins and her husband were the durable medical powers of attorney, handled her estate. She lived in a rehabilitation center after she had a fall, where she got a blade injury and had to be, as I understand it, helicoptered to WVU, but she was of sound mind and lived independently in the facility she was at. It was like an apartment as opposed to a rehabilitation home or something, I guess. But we think that the case law, like I said, not only supports that you should have testacy over intestacy, and that you should follow the intent of the drafter, and we can show what the intent of the drafter was. So the other issue is, I mean, in West Virginia, I've seen several cases where the whole will's missing, and you file a motion, and the county court, various county courts, and even our Supreme Court has acknowledged this principle. You can submit a will that's unsigned and just a copy. And I see no reason why we shouldn't be able to do something similar in this case, which is, I would suggest submit pages 1 through 6, and 7 and 8 are the signature pages, and the notary page, and they don't change because they're not missing any information. So if you want the cases and stuff, I'll be glad to give them or share them with Mr. Tucker. That might be your pleasure in terms of questions, or whether you want sworn testimony.
You have a copy of the emails?
I can get you this, yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, I disagree with some of the things he said about submitting copies of wills. I don't know that that's, I mean, I know that that's been attempted in this county, but I don't know that it's ever been accepted in this county. Yeah. I'd have to see the case law.
Legal.
Gentlemen, I'm reviewing this will, and sir, my name is Clinton Bischoff. I serve as counsel for the Lucas County Commission.
Sure.
May I ask your name?
Steve Brackey.
Mr. Brackey?
Yes.
Mr. Brackey, did you serve as notary for this instrument?
I did.
Sir, would you take the position that you have the ability to represent these folks, given that you may be a witness in this matter, considering that you were the notary?
If that becomes the case, I obviously would have to, I think, withdraw and have other counsel. I mean, I couldn't do both in terms of giving sworn testimony, and then being counsel, but at this point, we're not being asked to do that. I don't see an issue at this point.
That would be a concern of mine. I don't disagree with what Mr. Brackey just said there, but there would be an inherent conflict I would take the position, there would be an inherent conflict that could not be resolved because of Mr. Brackey's role as the notary in terms of that instrument there. And I say that respectfully.
No, I understand that, and I know that there are some exceptions to permitting counsel to testify in cases in which they are also counsel. I don't recall what those are, because I didn't look at them before I came here, to be honest with you.
Understood.
Gentlemen, I would further represent that this matter may be appropriate to be referred to a fiduciary commissioner, in the sense that there would be somebody that would be able to hear the facts, and then make a decision and make a recommendation to the county commission as to the objection of the parties based on the county clerk's the position of the county clerk to reject the will.
Does the clerk's office have an opinion on that?
I don't know that the fiduciary would listen to it. I think they'll probably just say, ask her to circuit. You all don't make a decision. Is that correct?
What did you say?
Because I don't think a fiduciary commissioner can decide whether it's valid or not.
I mean, I think that ultimately was the circuit court.
Yeah. I
Has
think
to
if you do it to
determine
them,
whether-
they'll just say, well, I can't listen to this. And,
I mean, as far as the validity of the will, whether it's valid or not valid, I think that's a circuit court issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you all have to make a decision first, one way or another. The fiduciary commissioner would just be a recommendation to you.
The thing that does concern me is the intent, and I think the emails would, if it can be validated as being true and correct, would show the intent of the person. Okay. Also, then again, there could be also an issue on who actually was answering. What is it between, go ahead.
You have another issue, and that's a notice issue. I don't know, if you find that the decedent died intestate, then you have probably a different set of heirs who would be entitled to notice than if you accepted the will. I don't know if the heirs would be the same as the beneficiaries.
Gentlemen, again, certainly what you all could do, if there's more information needed, the commission could request that today of the parties here that are present, and then make a decision and issue an order or a ruling just by mail. I mean, it wouldn't have to be, we wouldn't have to have another agenda item. That could just be something that could be mailed to the parties.
I think we should see all the
All the
see
email
everything
traffic and all
we
that.
do with it, then decide whether it needs to go upstairs, if it's out of our range, or what you two guys would be the most influential to us.
Well, I think you have to make a determination. Well, I think there's two issues. One is if you go down that path, and that's fine, but you have to determine if it's not a valid will, then who are the heirs of the estate? Because they would have the right to contest that will. They have under statute. Anyone who is an heir would have the right to contest that. And so they have to be noticed. If you're going to take evidence, then they have the opportunity to be heard on that issue. But then you also have the potential beneficiaries of the estate. And if they're different, you have different people that you have to give notice to and the right to be heard on.
And to follow that up, I think what Mr. Tucker, at least what I think, and I think what he's saying is the process would have to back up a couple steps in terms of the notice and identifying who's a beneficiary and who's an heir based on the validity of the will. But I still take the position that the commission could consider whatever other, we know the parties that are here today. We have the county clerk, which rejected the will, and these folks have objected to their rejecting the will. So if there's other evidence out there, certainly the county commission could receive that and then make a decision based on that. And that decision could be, we're gonna hear evidence, we're gonna refer it to a fiduciary commissioner, or we're gonna make a decision and the matter would be resolved either that way, or the relief may be in circuit court. So I think those are the options.
So if we bring in the other evidence that he's got, things like that, Betty, I'm asking you, if we bring in that evidence, would the fiduciary hear it at that point, or would they just not even?
I don't know, I would just have to get one appointed and see what they would, what they would respond back to me. And then I could let you know.
But we still have the ability to just hear them out, see what all is out there, okay? And then make the decision with all the information in front of us. Okay, that's what I'd like to do, get all the information in front
So
of us.
submit to you.
Would it be
Yes.
advisable
The
not to
emails.
appoint a fiduciary until
Not this
after
point,
that
so-
take place?
We could do
Wouldn't
that
have
later.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
We don't need to reject this today, we just need to get all the evidence and then make our decision. Is that
So if you're gonna ask for evidence, then will I need anybody that would be an heir's address to notify for the next meeting?
Yeah, they have the right to be heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we could, I want to think that almost exclusively all of the heirs were mainly nephews and nieces, and they're contained in I mean, they're part of the will.
Yeah.
As opposed to people who were excluded. I don't think there is any, but we can check. There are a few other beneficiaries in terms of the church and the cemetery that, probably would need notice as well. We can provide you with a list of that when we submit our material.
Yes,
Yes.
we want everything, okay, and you can.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they'll give us an opportunity to look through these, as far as putting it on
on this agenda,
the agenda in May. Okay.
Okay.
And,
2 weeks or 4
The only way
weeks.
you can notify them is
Depends on the fire.
Other people have
I don't have
notified.
That may be in
Second
second
reading.
I would do the second meeting in May.
Find out Friday.
Yeah,
That'll give us enough time.
so that'll be May 19th.
Okay.
Okay. There's
May
a
19th.
possibility, Ms. Perkins just indicated that she's having surgery, but she won't know the date till Friday. So
Okay.
if that interferes with that, we'll get a hold of somebody and
Sure.
Okay.
and rearrange the date.
We can rearrange to June 2nd or something along those lines.
And we'll get that material to you in advance of when we're supposed to meet here again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to have it at least 2 weeks
Yes.
before.
Oh,
May
sure.
19th,
Okay.
June the 2nd.
Yeah, and I'll need at least 10 days, so once you get it for the next meeting, I'll have to have at least 10 days, so I can notify everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can get that list to you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll get the evidence to you at least 2 weeks in advance of your May 19th.
Okay.
What, at the same time, 9:15?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't have anything already scheduled.
Right,
so.
right.
I'll make it, once I get everything, I'll set a
It could be
date.
like today, like
I'll set a
9:30,
date.
9:15.
Okay, that works.
10 a.m.
Mhm.
One of the
Well,
drivers do it this time.
Well, yeah,
I'll get the
hopefully,
address.
hopefully.
And how- thank you.
So, okay, so yeah, let's aim for that. I think that's a good plan. We're all in agreement, okay. So, thank you for coming.
Well, let's just, let's do it.
We'll go ahead and take another break.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Okay, we're here now to public comment period. For the record, there has not been anyone sign up for public comment. That being said, is there any business or comments that the commissioner would like to address at this time? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn this regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, the motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. We do stand adjourned.